Good morning, everybody. This is Todd with the Daily Nitty Gritty Insiders video. We're at the end of another week here in January, and the markets have been getting a little bit of attention from the standpoint that they haven't been quite as deliberate, maybe, as what we would like to see them. But nonetheless, tradable. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple things. First thing, let me make some adjustments here real quick. First thing is the difference between deliberate and non-deliberate. Now, this is something that ideally we want to be looking for when it comes to trading, and we'd like to have deliberate markets. Something that is moving in a fashion that is simple and easy to recognize as being a trend to either to the upside or to the downside. Now, as we look at defining deliberate versus non-deliberate, we really have to look at the basis for these deliberate or non-deliberate markets. And that is simply to look at the candle or the bar that we are looking at. And so this is a simple candlestick. And with the candlestick, we have a couple of things that we want to identify. We want to identify the open. We want to identify the close. We want to identify the high. And also the low. And those four components are what we look at when we are looking at the candles here. So we've got our high, we've got the close, we've got the low, and we've got the open. Now, these two would be reversed. The close and the open would be reversed if it's a down candle. But for our purposes, we're going to say that it's an up candle. Make it green so it looks like it's up. Now, the question we have to look at is, what is deliberate versus non-deliberate? First of all, when it comes to individual candles. And so let me delete some of these so we can keep it as clean as possible on here. Because sometimes if we look at a candle that has a large range, so now the range goes from a high here to a low down here, well, that might not be a deliberate movement. And maybe the body of the candle is even gotten smaller. So this would be considered a non-deliberate type of a movement. Or we could even say a non-deliberate movement is simply the fact that the price has so little movement that it's really not deliberate in its motion. And so now our highs and our lows are real tight. Now as we start to add candles together, we start to form patterns of deliberate movement over a time frame. And again, this time frame can be a daily chart, a weekly chart, a minute chart, or whatever we want to look at. And so the deliberate movements happen not just on candle level, a single candle level, but on multiple candle levels. And so as we put these together, we can not only look for one candle, but also a multiple of candles. And so as we look at a market, generally we would look and say, okay, the deliberate market is one where it goes through the process of, and we'll stay with an uptrend here, where it makes higher highs, higher lows, and it goes through the process of being very deliberate in its movements in relationship to what we see on the charts. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be deliberate in that it's moving up and pulling back, and moving up and pulling back. If we get into a situation where the market becomes very choppy in its movements and less deliberate in what we're looking at, and in fact gets to the point where it is not creating all the nice consistent areas of higher highs and higher lows, we can see kind of visually just the difference between what we did and what we have here, what we did before. So a deliberate market would be something like this. A non-deliberate market would be this choppy. And again, a lot of that comes because we get candles that are non-deliberate in their movements or just extremely volatile in their movements. So take some time to look at the charts. Look for those opportunities, in particular with the simple trading method, to find things to trade that are going to be more deliberate and less non-deliberate in their trading. And you'll find that you're entering in at the proper time. When you're entering in the proper time with the simple trading method, you're going to find that your opportunities are a lot better. So take some time to review that. Make sure that you understand what you're looking for. And if you have questions about this or anything else, let me know. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back on Monday, or back at the first of the week. Monday's a holiday, but we'll catch everybody next week. And so until then, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.